Welcome along to the next instalment of Portfolio Landlords Week. And right now we're on location at the Property Investor Show, and we've come along to meet Howard Rubin, who is the principal of HD Consultants, who power Property Tribe's financial services. And Howard, we cannot have a week about portfolio landlords without discussing finance. It's the lifeblood of any property business, and even more so when it comes to growing a portfolio.
So we've got a lot of things going on at the moment in the portfolio financing world. People are still venturing into it, buying their first property and looking for, as some of the people on our stand have been saying today, some big ideas for the future. So there are some rules that are changing in the banking environment, as you know, but there's also the economic uncertainty, the political uncertainty, and it's still not putting everybody off. There's still a lot of people looking to add to what they've already got. So it's a mixed bag, but our bigger portfolio landlords are still buying shed loads of them at the moment. The smaller landlords, maybe some of them are holding off a little bit, but the opportunity is still out there.
Well, we'll talk about those opportunities in a minute, but I do think, and it was one of the reasons why we wanted to run this week, that the gap between the kind of small landlord with 3 or less properties and the portfolio landlord with 4 or more properties is definitely widening on a lot of different levels: finance, tax, how a business is run. And I think it's interesting to look at that over this week.
The financing options have certainly been more restricted for the bigger landlords. So the magic number is 4. If you own 4 or more buy-to-let mortgage properties, then of course there are more heavy underwriting rules that are now imposed. A lot of the smaller landlords are sticking at 3, which we're finding, but they don't want to venture into maybe the higher rates and the higher fees that portfolio landlords and the additional paperwork that's involved as well. So we're definitely finding the difference between the professional landlord, as they're now becoming, and the people that would rather stay with a smaller portfolio, which whatever suits you really. But definitely for the larger landlords, they're buying now in limited company names to try and mitigate the personal income tax mortgage relief reduction, which of course isn't affected by limited companies because they pay corporation tax, not personal income tax. But so many factors are being taken into consideration now: yields versus growth, and there's so much that we're looking at when we're designing a strategy with our clients.
Indeed, I think the PRA has had a big impact on growing a portfolio. It's certainly, I would say, a lot more challenging in the current arena than it was maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Would you agree with that?
There's a huge difference between then and now. And we've had to adapt as brokers. We're having to learn different criteria all the time. Different lenders are coming into the market still though, and there's still new opportunity, new innovation. So whereas actually some of the older buy-to-let mortgage lenders have started to withdraw and even restrict what they're offering, they're kind of being replaced by some of the new lenders as well. Even at the very higher loan-to-values as well. There's a couple of new entrants at 85% loan-to-value now. So there's still a lot of opportunity for the buy-to-let marketplace. I'll always say, with the caveat, take the proper tax advice as well, of course.
They go hand in hand.
They have to. We have to employ the strategy, as you say, hand in hand. It has to be that way. You can't sell a mortgage. You have to advise accordingly. And we work with a lot of very, very good accountants to ensure that our client gets the right advice. But yeah, the financing, getting the right flexibility, it's not always about rates and fees, but the right flexibility, it's all crucial. So we do what we can to support for now and the future with our clients.
Now, you mentioned that there are still opportunities to grow as a portfolio landlord. I think I particularly favour buy, refurb, hold, and also going into kind of mixed use and semi-commercial. Are your portfolio landlords seeing those opportunities?
Well, where the capital growth may not be seen to be had over the next few years because of the so-called uncertainty that's out there, people are buying a lot more keenly now. So if they can buy a property that they can refurb and do up, then they're going to add value and they can pull their money out if the numbers crunch well. We're promoting one of those products here, the Precise Mortgages, which is the 2-stage. It's one application but 2 stages. You buy the property, which isn't necessarily mortgageable from day one, add a little bit of value. You buy it at 75% loan to value, but once you've increased the value, you can then refinance at 80% of the new higher value and pull the money out again if it works. So yeah, definitely we're seeing a lot more creativity in the marketplace. That particular type of strategy has been around for a while, but Precise have packaged it up brilliantly actually. So that's a really good deal. But the portfolio landlords are still buying where the smaller landlords are maybe selling. The bigger landlords are buying those assets up now and adding to their portfolio. We're still seeing growth in that market.
I think you've highlighted right there the benefit of having a really strong relationship with a reputable and professional broker, because if you don't know about those products and how to use them, you're not going to be able to take advantage of them. And sometimes they don't hang around for a long time. It's a window of opportunity to dive in and grab that tranche of financing. So I think the portfolio landlord moving forward is going to have their broker on speed dial.
I think it doesn't matter how good you are as a landlord or in any other profession, you don't do it all by yourself. You've got to have a team around you. And for us, we are investors ourselves as well, so we speak from that side of the fence as well. And we know that the opportunities are out there, but I also know that working with a broker, you're going to have access to banks and other building societies and specialist lenders that you can't go to directly. So for you as a borrower, as an investor, for you to have the access to the widest range of products and services and flexibility, definitely work with a professional broker.
Now, just to finish, Howard, everybody in property, when they're starting out, they have to have their why. They have to have their goal, their prize, to keep their eye on it. And I think it's really important when anybody's starting out building a portfolio is that they have that at the forefront of everything they do, because it will guide their direction, won't it?
It guides, exactly right, it guides the direction. So going back to something I might have mentioned earlier, we don't sell mortgages, we advise a strategy, and you need to know the end goal, what you're after, because it's not all about rates and fees, it's about the flexibility that you need with your financing as well. Maybe to build onto your portfolio, maybe to refinance, maybe to sell early. Whatever it is that you're looking to do as your business model, you need to be able to do it with the best value and the best flexibility. And again, I think that's the value of a broker, a professional advisor that knows how to implement those strategies.
Indeed. Well, thank you very much to Howard for joining me here on Portfolio Landlords Week. We've got a lot more to come on this topic, so stay tuned. And if you are watching on YouTube, we invite you to jump across to propertytribes.com, because that's where the discussions are hosted. It's where you can have your questions answered by Howard and his team. And if you do have any financing requirements, do check out Property Tribes Financial Services. They are on hand to support the Property Tribes community in growing their portfolios. So thanks very much to Howard.
Thank you.